Just do it. Whatever you are dreaming of, thinking of, it keeps coming back to your mind like, I should do this thing. I'm really good at this thing. I live to do this thing. Just do it. We hold ourselves back from so many experiences because of the fear of failure, or the fear of trying, or the fear of success. I meet so many people that are like, but what if I fail? But what if things turn out worse than I want them to? But it's just like, if you don't try at all, they're not going to turn out any kind of way because you didn't give yourself a chance. And that's not fair to you to have these beautiful ideas, and subconsciously you're telling yourself that your ideas are not great because you're not taking the initiative to follow through with them. And so each time that you don't follow through with the ideas that you have, you're telling yourself that I am not worthy of creating great ideas that I can step out on and accomplish. And that's not fair to yourself, because you're telling yourself that I'm not good enough, that my brain's capabilities to think for me is not good enough, and you're learning to not trust yourself. And what kind of life is that, to not trust yourself, right? So I just want to encourage you to do the little tries first. Like, I don't want you to go out and not have an idea of this business and just be like, okay, well, now I'm a business owner, but you don't know what your business is. You don't know the plan of your business. You don't know who you're trying to target. You don't even know what you want to call the business, right? Like, think of the foundational things, right? If we're just going to try one little step at a time, okay, what is the business that I want to create? Let's start there. That's one little step. Next, what do I want to call this business? Okay, great. What do I want my logo? What do I want my colors for this business to be? Okay, next step. Or it doesn't even have to be that simple. Maybe you want to step into a new fashion sense, right? Start going. I don't want you to start like spending all your money on all these high-end clothes because you want to change your style. But maybe start thrifting, start going to Goodwill to find those same clothes and start playing with them and making the styles come to life to fit the aesthetic that you're trying to create. Start there. Start with something small. It doesn't have to always be leaps and bounds, because baby steps are still steps. Yes, you're gonna trip, right, in the beginning, but that doesn't mean that you should stop taking those steps. That just means you trusted yourself enough to try, and it didn't work out that time. So let's look at it a different way and see how we can succeed that way, right? So I just want to encourage you to just do it. Just do it. I contemplated moving to Houston for 2 years. I had no idea how it was going to happen. I had no idea where to start. But the first thing I made up in my mind, the little step for me, was deciding to move, because everything else will fall into place if I decide that this is where I want to live. So I started looking at apartments. I didn't even know what side of town I wanted to live in, because it's when you live out of state and you're looking at apartments in different cities, it's kind of tricky, because I realized that all of the apartments that I was looking at are actually far from the place I want to live. But I started apartment searching. I started calling people. I started applying. I started taking the initiative to say, hey, I want to move. I'm going to move. Today I am going to move. And it became a reality. I moved last year on December 26th. I packed up that truck in 2023. I packed up that truck. Let's start with the truck. I had no idea how I was going to pay for the truck. I booked that truck 3 times before I actually picked it up. I had no idea how I was going to pay for it. I had no idea where I was going to live. I had no money. And by the grace of God, I had enough money to not only pay for the truck, I had enough money for gas to get me from Louisville, Kentucky to Houston, Texas, while also making pit stops. I had to drive to Nashville to pick my mom up, who helped me drive here, and then we drove from Nashville to Fulton, Kentucky to drop off some things to my granny because I was just releasing a lot of furniture so that I could downsize. And so I gave some stuff to her, and then we hit the road and we drove that 13 hours in one day, and we got to Houston, Kentucky, or Houston, Texas, sorry, on December 27th. I made the decision that I was going to pack up my son, I was going to pack up my dog, and we were going to create a new life, and I made it possible with the help of God. Like, none of the things, when I tell you the way that my life has shifted in this last year, none of the things that happened should have happened, but they did, and I'm internally grateful. I moved here, I didn't have a job for 4 months, but I didn't sit in the house and sulk about not having a job. No, I still explored the city. I still went and toured apartments. I still did the job interviews, the 5, 6, 7, 8 callbacks to still not be hired, the going out of my way to different parts of town to go to these jobs, which in the end turned out to not be feasible just because of the location of my son's school, and where I did eventually end up getting a job is perfect. I live downtown, I work downtown, and my son goes to school slightly outside of downtown. But I made it all come together by just telling God, hey, I'm believing for this thing, and that I know that you got me from front to end and side to side. And I'm eternally grateful that He provided me with the ability to wake up one day and say, just do it. No matter how it looks, just know, Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you. I might have butchered that a little bit, but you get the point. Everything works out for your good. Sometimes you just can't see the vision, but that doesn't mean you should keep your eyes off the end goal. I went to church yesterday. This is a church I've been trying to go to for the past 12 months, and I finally went yesterday, and I have found my church home. So imagine if I would have started going to that church previously. But that's neither here or there. I think that I went when I was supposed to go. The message that Dr. Cosby preached was, I think it's Crosby speech. It was, I choose peace. No matter what's going on around me, no matter how chaotic life gets, I still choose the peace of knowing that the things that I'm hoping for, the things I'm praying for, my vision will come to life. And it is coming to life. But I'm not going to stress about it. Yes, I might stress in the beginning, but I'm not going to live there. I'm going to pick up my boots, and I'm going to relax, and I'm going to rejoice in what I have today, because everything is always working out in my favor. So just do the thing, even if you're scared, even if you don't know where to start. I promise you, each baby step that you take, you are telling yourself that I trust you enough to make decisions for me. I don't need outside opinions other than God's. So keep taking those baby steps. Just do it. Everything will work out in your favor. I don't care how scared you are. I don't care how anxious you are. Everything is always working out in your favor in the end. Bye.